on the line. Joining us now, one of your former teammates, one of the guys that I used to play against growing up and know him well. It is the leading goal scorer and assist man in the CPL this season, York United striker, Brian Wright. Brian, welcome to the show, man. Really appreciate you joining us.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon, Niko, and good evening, Nick. How you
Okay.
guys doing?
Good, man. Good. It's been
Brian, Nick was just telling me off the air how you couldn't get by him. Just like Kyle Larin, he had him in his pocket. He said in his back
I
pocket,
never
the
really went
right one.
against
That
Brian,
was
to be
you.
fair. We were never one-on-one.
Yeah, he said the same thing last time when I came on. So
But man,
Okay, sorry, Nick. Go ahead. I cut you off.
all good, man. I was just gonna say, Brian, you guys have had a fantastic season, leading the league now as a team, and you yourself leading the league in goals. How does it feel? How has everything kind of gone for you this year, and how excited have you been for this season?
yeah, I mean, obviously, season's going well for me, and the team as well. Definitely, last year was a disappointing year for me, only scoring 2 goals to going to 9 right now. So can't really complain as a striker, as well as the team's obviously doing really well. So can't really complain too much.
New ownership group this year, a lot of changes going on within the club. How have the guys kind of been able to adjust with all the constant change going on in the background to be able to play as well as they have on the pitch?
Yeah, I mean that's never ideal, but I feel like everyone's been pretty professional about it from day one. We got the new owners, and then obviously with few games into the season, the new coach changed. So everyone's just been pretty hardworking every day and just doing what the new coach is asking of us.
Nico, go ahead.
Serious side of This is a serious side of Brian. I'm not used to seeing this thing. What Brian, was it me? Just say it. Was it me? Was I the problem?
No, come on, wasn't it? Come on, buddy.
Um, Talk about you. 9 goals, six. Is it assists or 6 goal contributions? Like, are they all first assists?
Yes.
No, first assist.
Okay. What's going on? What's happening? What's different?
I think just people are gelling to better together this year. I think goals wise, I'm just being found a little bit better. Half chances are a bit easier for me, if I want to say that. And I'm just being more clinical. And I guess in terms of the assists, I'm just making good decisions, I guess, on the passes I'm making.
I feel like, now correct me if I'm wrong. Last year, you got just as many chances. You're just being more efficient. Like you're putting those ones away. No, I still see like the same kind of Brian. No.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Like, I wouldn't say that the chances weren't there. It would be one thing if I was getting no chances, but I would just say, like I said, like I'm just more clinical this year in terms of actually finishing my chances that are coming to me, whether it's a full chance or a half chance. But like just doing what a striker needs to be doing, just be clinical.
Yeah. Uh, Anything that you felt like you changed? I mean, you're a veteran of the league now. I mean, as I get older now, I truly understand now what experience kind of is. And I'm still very, I would say, unexperienced, but as you get older, you learn a couple things and stuff like that. And you're like, even learn stuff about you as an athlete, what works, what doesn't. Is there something, maybe that you have switched up, or is it not that serious, or what are kind of, have you made any small adjustments to make it's actually such a big difference if you go just by the statistics wise, no?
Yeah,
Can
that's
you
true.
can you put it down to someone to
I,
something?
I
Sorry.
I don't even think I can pinpoint it to one thing exactly. I wouldn't really say I made a huge adjustment, more so even in the off season, because ironically, this past off season was one of my shorter off seasons because I didn't fully get to train entirely because like we were talking in an off season, like I got hurt, so I didn't get to train as much as I would have wanted to. But I just think like as I'm getting older, like experience, like you said, and like I said, like I'm just the chances that are coming to me, I'm actually just burying them this year as opposed to last year. So
And for young strikers out there, I mean, that's part of the business, right? You want to be a number 9, you want to be a goal scorer. I mean, me and you have spoken about it. It's very similar as like a goalkeeper, those kind of positions have the pressures of like, perform, but it is very much a confidence like position. So to younger, like, boys or girls strikers that are out there going through like slumps, what would you like say to them now, kind of
Yeah, if
going
you're
through and just coming out the other side?
yeah, if you're ever like in a slump, like you said, like it's especially strikers, they have to be very confident because you can get maybe one chance a game or two chances a game. Ideally, you want to bury both, but you miss a chance, you can't just be hung up on that one chance. You just got to keep working. And if the goals aren't coming, I would just say just keep your head down and just keep working hard. And all it takes is for one to go in, and then the confidence can go right back up. So it's like don't ride the high wave too long because then when you come down from it, it can be pretty bad at times. So in the moments when you are confident, you're doing well, for sure, be like enjoy those moments, but at the same time, like be humble and keep working because you know how football can be. Sometimes it can be like this, and then next moment you're like that. So and it can humble you quick. So just consistently just keep working and just keep doing what you're doing.
I laugh, Nick, because we used to say to each other, like, football can humble you real quick. And
Yeah,
he's kind of saying that. But you say, you go there, like, you know how it is. Sometimes football's up and then it's down. But that's the thing. Sometimes these young guys going through it, they don't know that because they haven't been through it. So it's just part of like the path
the
of,
learning curve.
yeah, exactly.
The
Yeah,
hardest thing,
Uh,
it's really hard to keep your head on your shoulders when things aren't going well because you want to try to do too much sometimes. And the one thing I will give you a ton of credit for, Brian, last year, I know it wasn't the easiest year for you, but you kept making all the right runs. You were always in the right spot. That was one thing I told everybody. I'm like, just wait until he gets one or two goals. This guy is gonna pop off. You can see it. Every single run was there. That's what made you this success this year obvious to me. I knew it was gonna come. I'm happy that it's happening for you, man. We're in conversation with York striker Brian Wright here, and we talk about the success you're having, but why don't we also flip it over to the success the team is having? You guys bring in a new coach, and now not only are you guys winning games, but you're now first in the league ahead of Ottawa, Forge, Cavalry, the big guns that a lot of people had predicted to be at the top. How are the boys kind of handling that kind of success right now as a group? And is this something that fans should expect moving forward, not maybe just this year, but moving forward past this year, depending on how many of you guys are able to stay?
yeah. I mean, obviously, it's nice when you're winning games, and it's things are a lot easier when things are going your way. But then, obviously, like we said, like football can humble you quick too. So the main message right now is after the win, enjoy it. But then as soon as we're back to work that following week, what just happened is no longer relevant anymore. We have our next match, and our next match is our only next important match. So very consistent throughout the week in terms of working hard and keeping our heads down and trying to stay humble because we haven't done anything yet. We haven't won anything. Just winning games, trying to get to our end point. But ultimately, we still have 10 games left to go and 10 games that we need to be consistent over if we want to reach our first goal in the season. So right now everyone's just locked in and doing what's being asked of us and trying to do all the little things and all the little details because the next 2 months of the season is gonna shake up, and I think the table is gonna shake up pretty quickly. And you know how CPL, especially this time of the year, where now's the time where within the last 6 weeks of the season is where you really want to start peaking because you want to be peaking right at the beginning of October, heading right into playoffs. So right now is a very crucial point in pretty much everyone's season, whether you're above the playoff line or you're just below it, because you never know what can happen. The teams like Valor and Halifax, they can make a push. I'm pretty sure Valor has maybe 11 games left. Pretty sure out of those 11, 7 or 8 of them are at home. So they can make a run. Anyone can make a run at this point in time in the season. So it's all about just focusing on yourselves and doing what you need to do each week and taking care of business each game.
That's a very good point. No CPL titles ever been won in August. It's always, won in September, October. Normally the final month, to be honest, it goes down to. It's always been
Exactly.
tight. Great mentality to have. I mean, if you guys could keep that, I mean, that's definitely the way to go about it. MVP talk. Where where are you at? Would you consider yourself in there? If KJ walks up to me in the hallway And he asked me for my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams in first place, most goal contributions. You're number one.
Not only most
Is-
goal contributions, he has the most goals and most primary assists out of anybody, leading both categories. You can't just say goal contribution. He's doing everything.
What's a primary assist? You know.
The ones that count.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna put you on the spot and talk about yourself. You talk about good form, but I'm putting you in there. Is that on your mind? Let me just pose that question to you at all. Has that crossed your mind?
I'd be lying if I said it didn't, but ultimately the main objective is to win the regular season to try and secure that spot for the CONCACAF Champions League.
Respect for saying it, because I know every single player does think it, but I know you well enough that I agree that I know your mindset is team first and think, but some players would say no.
Yeah.
I have a question, Niko,
go.
before you go. We talk about the success of the team, but one thing that's changed drastically, at least from an outsider perspective, is how many fans you guys have been getting out to games this year. It is up from where it has been over the last few years for York. Do the players on the pitch kind of take notice of that? I know not necessarily during the game, but like pre-game, post-game, just kind of the atmosphere that has been brought in by the new ownership and the fans that have been showing up.
Nate,
Yeah,
Brian, has there been more fans?
Yeah, there actually has been this year.
Okay, cool. I'm
First
not
home
there,
game
so I
of the
don't know.
season against Forge was actually the record attendance in York history this year. So I think our average fan, like, the numbers have gone up this year. I don't know the exact numbers.
Can you
but in
tell when
previous
you play?
years-
Can you tell?
Yeah, you can tell. Sometimes when, like,
Cool.
mid game, if wherever the ball is, sometimes, and like as a striker, like I'm walking and the ball's out of bounds and it's in that direction, you look up at the stands, like, oh, like there's a decent amount of people. Or
You
sometimes
get
after the
boomied?
game in the change room, say what?
You get boomied?
Nah. No, but I mean, obviously the ownership is doing something behind the scenes. They're doing a tremendous job getting more fans in the seats, which is always nice as a player when you're at home and fans are coming out to support you and watch you, and after the games you go shake their hands and all of that stuff. So it's nice to see them there. Hopefully we can keep having them come out. It would be nice. We have 2 important home games coming up, one this Friday, so it would be nice if we could get a lot of fans for both these upcoming games.
Yeah, everyone loves a winner, so just
That
keep
does
winning,
help.
and they'll come, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Niko?
MVP talk. I mean, I was alluding more to what other players. Who's your competition for like who's another top player in this league right now? Your opinion?
I'd have to. It's always a lot easier said than done when people are scoring the goals, but I would say some of the other attacking players. Del Campo's having a much. He's having. Him and I had a very similar season to last year. I don't know if he scored in a couple of goals or not last year, but
But
obviously
he came halfway though, no?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Something like
So I
that.
just
Like
kind of didn't count it.
window. Yeah, but I mean,
Your
he's
season
doing
was
really well
worse.
for Ottawa. He's doing really well for them. They're man up top. Diaz is slowly every year. We all know Diaz, top striker in the league. Just
Good striker,
in the
bro.
box,
Very good
in the
striker.
box finishes. Is a really good finisher. Good movement.
Borges up there for me.
He's back. Yeah, he's having a fantastic season. He's contributing in goals and assists as well. He's doing this thing like everyone knows he's capable of. Yeah, I mean, everyone. I would say Kwesi was starting the season at what, left back or left wing, and they had a striker in disguise, and he's taken off this season. So really happy for him. Young guy doing his thing, deserving his minutes, and killing it. I would say pretty good candidates in there. I feel like I might be forgetting some people. I'm trying to think of the
forwards don't rate defenders, eh? Like not one goalie shout and not one defender shout there.
Well, I said it's a lot easier when like I said that the strikers are the ones scoring goals, so it's a lot easier to always give them their shout and their flowers. But
fair. Yeah, but this is why we have this show, Brian. That's why I give you the airwave.
I mean,
you gotta help
obviously,
educate people.
Nimick is has what, 7 goals, I think.
Okay, so let me ask another player's opinion. Is that 7 goals got an asterisk in your mind? Posing the question.
That's funny you say that.
I know it's
I
funny.
mean, I think a lot of people might agree with that, but someone still has to step up and take them. And
It's a skill.
he's been doing really well with them and
Okay, here
scoring
I'm
them.
I'm
So
gonna I'm gonna pose a second question to both of you. Do you think there should be a second column in the goals category that is PK goals? Track that as opposed to total goals.
No,
I
that's
mean,
lame.
nah, nah. It says it anyways. It says in brackets that PK
Yeah.
goals, but like not everyone can deal with the pressure of taking a PK. So hats off to him if
Tough challenge.
he's clearly their penalty taker and he's been burying them. So what can you really say? So I
Agreed.
mean, a defender is taking PKs over attacking players, so that must be, like I said, hats off to him. He's doing a good job with it. So
Yeah. For guys that don't know Brian all that well within the league, I would describe Brian as, definitely a veteran presence. And I know a lot of the young guys, definitely when I was at York, looked up to Brian. I know when he left Ottawa, there were some guys that I knew there, and they mentioned the same thing, like, yo, we miss Brian in the locker room. So Brian, all these young guys are giving you your flowers behind the scenes. I feel like you do. So let me ask you this. Do you actively try to build a relationship with the young guys in the team? Is that something you learned through your playing
yeah,
days?
as I've gotten older, I would say for sure I try to build a relationship with them because this opportunity that they have is a tremendous one. Like growing up, we never had this opportunity of a professional league to play in or have to be in a professional environment. So whenever they have questions or whatever, I'm always ears and willing to give advice on what they can do, what they shouldn't do as a professional. Um, I'm not. Some days I'm nicer, some days I'm harder on them, but I think
Mhm.
I think I have a decent mix now as I've gotten older on how to what days to put my arm around them and then what days to scold them at the same time. So it can't always be flowers with them and hold their hand, but there's some days you have to be hard on them and they have to learn. So, but for
Where'd
sure,
you
like
learn
I
that?
through my days when I was a young guy,
Like who?
um, I
When
had
you
a
were in
teammate that
when you started at Revs, who
I
in that
would say
locker room
one
was
guy
big
that
there?
was pretty well. I was friends with a couple of the older guys, so I'd hang out with them and I would always ask them questions. But one person that always comes to mind is like a Kellen Rowe or something. Like there's some days he joke around with me a lot, then there's some days he was very hard on me. And like there was Lee Wynn, Juan Agudelo, Kellen Rowe, Scott Caldwell was pretty hard on me sometimes. Like Teal Bunbury, Andrew Farrell. So a lot of the older guys at the time, like Kai Kamara, like if I ever had questions, I'd go to them and ask them questions. And if there was days where like I was bad in training, they would let me know. But there was times where they would hard on me, and then there was times where they would quote unquote put their arm around me at the same time, like one on one on the side, and like look like what you need to do. You need to work harder in this, blah blah blah. So it's a good mix. You need a good healthy mix of both because sometimes people need that fear of like being like oh my gosh like they're serious like I'm getting yelled at and they need that sometimes. So I think I do a good job of mixing both. There's some days where you get scolded in front of the team by yourself, and then there's also days you pull them to the side and say, "Look, like this is what you need to do better. Work a little bit harder on this. Focus on this. Blah blah blah," kind of thing. So I think it's important that like the veterans on each team should be trying to look out for these young guys because they're the future of the league. Eventually,
Mhm.
one day we're not going to have contracts. We're not going to have a team. We're going to be older, whatever it may be. You got to try and help them so that they can help the next generation after them and the next young guy.
Big facts.
Yep.
Big facts. Last question, and then Nick, unless you, because
Nope.
basically you're going to wrap it on. I know we're taking this long, but Brian, quickly. Uh, mostly our audience, I watch the show is like the super fans, like the supporters groups of all the clubs. Who's your favorite team to score against away?
Oh,
You're trying
I
to
got a
set me
follow-up
up, huh?
question. I got a
You're
follow-up
trying to
question.
set me up.
Who do you like to score against?
Uh,
You don't have
away.
to away, so you can really stick it to them.
I'm not gonna answer that question.
No, you're not going to answer?
I wouldn't say I have one team where I'm like, oh, like I want to go there and score and prove a point. Like it's never personal with me like that, unless someone
Mm.
tries to make it personal. But for me, it's just every game I try and go and do my job.
I got a follow-up question on that one. Is there any player on another team that you like to score and then joke around with after about scoring on them?
Or
Goalie,
beating, or
defender,
beating, or beating.
any of that?
A defender, I mean,
Or any player. I just use defender because they're the ones you're going head-to-head against most.
If I was playing against Brian, I feel like when we used to go up against each other, that'd be a standard.
yeah,
If Brian
it
scored
was
on
fun
me, the
again
first thing,
because you got to know, I know Niko and I go way back.
Yeah.
I would say maybe Nate Ingham as well
Nate, I was
because
gonna say.
the three of us, we all go back. We all played for Ajax growing up. So obviously them both being keepers and me being a striker, like not like after the game I'm like haha, like, but like
Yeah.
like we joke around or we talk about what happened on the goal. But
Yeah, that's
I
more
would
what
say
I was trying to
them
get at.
two for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Funny story about Brian off of that is, so 2 moments. Brian scores a
I
brace
know
on me.
I have a feeling I know what one of them you're gonna talk about, but go ahead.
Okay, well, yeah, well, it's fair. But I'll start with this one. I'm at home. I play for York, home game. Brian scores a brace on me. As soon as he scored the second goal, which was kind of a breakaway, he just slots it clean to my right. All I'm thinking is like, damn, like I don't want to hear this like in off season. Like that's all I thought about because that's when I would see Brian is training the off season. I'm like, damn, like I know I'm gonna hear this.
Listen to this all
Like in the
off-season.
rondos a thing. But in the same sense, is this what
2
when
years
I
ago?
stopped that pen against you, the first thing I thought of was like, I can't wait to bring this up. Like I own him. Like I got him right now. I got this one.
Oh, love
That's
it.
funny.
But
I knew you were gonna bring that up. And it was one of those moments too where because I was in the Can Champ game and I came off the bench and I think we almost scored before the 90 minutes and obviously it went straight to a shootout. And then like obviously, like I said, Niko and I go way back. So as soon
gonna
as I
bless me with a
missed, I was
nice
like,
one.
that's devastating that I missed. And I'm like, it's even worse that it's Niko. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't. I'm like, I don't want to see this guy for a while. Like, So yeah.
Oh, I love it. That's the exact kind of answer that I wanted. So thank you for that. Brian, really appreciate you taking some time out of your day to join us, man. Hopefully we can do it again soon.
Cheers. Thanks for having me, guys.
By the way, that penalty moment is like written in CPL folklore. That's the only thing I'm known for, basically, with amongst the fans, is that I come off my line on penalties. So you should be honored.
Yeah, supporters groups
Be
don't
part of
like him
that.
for that.
Yeah.
All right, Brian, thank you so much, man.
Peace, buddy.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yep. Brian Wright from York United FC. And